this video so it's recommended to others, and don't forget that subscribe button so you can keep seeing videos just like this.
These the twists that y'all love so much. These sit back here for weeks, and then we get put in bags when we feel like it. See this? This the beef that y'all love so much. These tacos. This is how it looks. We don't even cook it. It's all boiled. The chicken, ew. The steak, ew. The chips, ew. The sauces, ew. Blow this up and I'm making a part 2.
Dude, that's why I don't eat out as much anymore. I swear the quality of fast food has gotten worse and worse. Every time I go out, I get sick. So I try not to eat out as much anymore. Plus, it's bad for you.
I promise this is gonna completely blow your minds. This American guy goes into a coma, and when he wakes up from it, he can't understand what the people around him are saying. And when he starts to respond, he can only speak in Swedish. Not only that, but he has a completely different identity. He quite literally woke up from this coma as a completely different person. Check this out.
This is 61-year-old Johan Ek from Sweden. At least he thinks he is. His name is actually Michael Boatwright, an American Navy vet. In February, in this California emergency room in a Nordic state of mind, only speaking Swedish, unable to recognize his own face or even his son. Visibly emotional, he spoke to the desert sun through a translator.
The name I knew that I had, Johan Ek.
Police say Boatwright was found unconscious in this Palm Springs Motel 6, along with 4 forms of identification and a cell phone.
The cell phone that contained phone numbers, all of which were phone numbers from the country.
My dude speaking Swedish was in a coma with nothing but Chinese phone numbers. I'm gonna say this dude is probably a spy. There's no way he's not. That's a spy, right? They came out of nowhere. That would make a good car insurance commercial.
Oh my god. They better get up or they're gonna hit the power lines. Holy! Oh my god.
Tell me why I thought it was a wave. For the longest time, I thought it was.
My husband almost got deleted today. He put on his weighted vest for extra cardio while cutting the grass. Someone saw him and thought he had a bulletproof vest on, so they called the cops on him.
Hi, supposed to meet Antonio?
I'm sorry?
I'm supposed to meet Antonio here?
Oh, Antonio. His shop's on that side. I'm not sure if he's here.
You know what? Hey, let me tell you something real quick. Cops are here. They had a call about a guy with a bulletproof vest.
Oh, it's a weighted vest.
You might want to tell them.
Okay.
They're right here. I would make your hand.
No worries.
You working out?
Yeah. I didn't know it was something serious. I didn't know it was coming up this month.
You're good, man. Like, you respect the grind.
Yeah, no, let's put the grass in
What, dude? This is absurd, man. Some Karen was gonna get this man turned into Swiss cheese. I feel like this is exactly how my nightmares look. I'm gonna have to pass on that, man. It looks terrifying.
Waking up seeing the ocean at your bedroom windows.
I'm sending this video to the leasing office because my windows didn't hold back rain.
There's this document I call the Eagle 2 document. It purports to be from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Edward Secret, written on July 7th, 1989. During the tenure of Richard Helms as director of the Central Intelligence Agency, decisions were made by the director with implied approval of the Oval Office to draft a blueprint and put into motion a plan by which the CIA could have as much funds as and when needed without the knowledge of Congress. The 5 experts picked were Edward Lansdale, who ran the CIA activities in Vietnam, William Colby, who was put in total command of the blueprint operation when enacted, George Bush, who asked to receive approval to have his top aide Richard Armitage to be brought aboard, and Lieutenant Colonel Robert Ferreira, a top CIA asset. The master plan called for the CIA to enter into the smuggling business total and complete fashion. General Lansdale would handle all the distribution network and collection services within the military in Vietnam. See, this is why all the veterans came back addicted to heroin, because they were sold it by the CIA. The operation was given the name Eagle 2. Here's where it gets crazy, folks. Before the operation was really off the ground, Colby started his phase of elimination of dissidents, and he did so under the code name of the Phoenix program. Colby became insane with his power, and before he was finished with Phoenix, over 20 were executed, and over 2,000 were being collaborators, and they vanished. That was too close to all being made public, so Helms, who in the meantime had formed a totally strong relationship with Baron Philip du Daphne, who represented the real capital of the world, the Rothschild Empire, decided to stop Operation Eagle 2 and start another clandestine money-making operation and leave Japan. Baron du Daphne, by the way of information, later took complete control of the international organization, operation headquartered in Paris, France. So this is how the deep state works. This is how it was formed. This is what we mean when we talk about the intelligence community national, it being co-opted and actually controlled by people that aren't technically in office of CIA. They're shadow controllers. If you're a guy and your wife manages all of the money, how are you going to cheat on her? How are you going to go have a nice steak dinner with your mistress if your wife's going to start asking questions about the $200 bill on the next credit card statement? What you need to do is go do a little something on the side to get some cash of your own so you can pay for your nefarious activities outside of the oversight of the money manager.
And these are the exact same people that got rid of JFK because he wanted to get rid of them first. The CIA and the FBI are terrible. It says the deer got longer. Let's see that one more time. Well, I can confirm that deer did get longer.
A man scaling a 19-story burning building in Philadelphia with the hopes of reaching his mother inside.
I'm not just going to sit there and let my mom. I'd rather real life falling than let her sit in there and
30 p.m. Jermaine received a call from his sister saying his 65-year-old immobile mother couldn't make it out of her apartment floor. Jermaine rushed to the scene, but police had blocked off the front door. Jermaine let adrenaline take over. Buildings fenced-in balconies, wire cutters in hand.
Oh man, why y'all doing me like that? They're trying to make me cry. That's a sweet guy, man. And yes, comments do say he did save her.
His mother was playing with her kid in the grass.
What are you doing, baby?
At the park, just enjoying their day, and then they seen this woman. She would stand and look at her kid. The mom had a bad gut feeling. I told y'all last video about how the moms, y'all get that gut feeling. And she was staring at this kid like she wanted to grab this kid, take this kid and leave. So and this lady, she kept a distance, but her back and looked directly at that kid like she wanted it. The mom was so freaked out by this lady, she pulled out her phone and she started recording this lady. There are people that can't have kids. They have boyfriends, but they just can't have kids. Some of them single. They want kids, but still can't have kids, and they want your kid. Like this lady named Samantha. I don't remember her name because I done this case a while ago. She lived in this apartment complex and she was cool with the neighbors. The neighbors one day invited Samantha over to help her with a dress.
Savannah told her mom that she was getting ready to go to her neighbor's house. She said that the neighbors would like her to try on a dress for them, you know, because they were into sewing and they wanted to hem it. To me, this kind of sounds strange.
Now, around this time, pregnant, where she can have a baby any second, literally. Like that water could break. But the neighbor invited Samantha over to help her with the dress. So when Samantha,
but at the same time, I desperately wanted a baby. Like, I don't know, I can't
have a homemade C-section, and this baby ended up living. That's how bad she wanted this kid. Both of them, of course, in jail, but she went to the extreme just to have kids because she couldn't.
Do you know where she is right now? I don't know where she's at. Do you know what happened to her? I have no idea. She left our place shortly after her dad knocked. I didn't physically see her leave our place.
Baby is now older, and this neighbor just played it off so good because she built the connection with the family, and it just made her so vulnerable, so open to her that she know that this is your last day. We want your kid, so you have to be careful.
Believe in aliens and Bigfoot and demons. We have demons in the form of people. Also, why couldn't they just adopt? Like, what the hell, bro?
3 of the most dangerous places you should never go swimming. 1. Lake Karachay. Lake Karachay is located in western Russia. It's also the most polluted lake on the planet. The Russian government intentionally polluted it with radioactive waste back in the days when no regulations applied. The water in this lake is so contaminated that it could kill you in an hour. 2. Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is the largest lake in Africa. Every year, 5,000 people die there. The lake has its own weather system, isolated from the rest of the world. The weather can change from clear and sunny to stormy without any warning. If the weather changes while you're swimming, you might not make it out alive. 3. This might look like a beautiful place to swim, but it's actually one of the most dangerous places to swim in the world. It's Bayang Lake in the Dominican Republic, and beneath its surface is volcanic magma. Entering this water can quite simply lead to...
He forgot to mention Crystal Lake, where Jason Voorhees hangs out. Yeah, Florida really is a GTA server, bro. That's easy.
Did you know there's a plot of land in Appalachia that is so haunted? They have a plaque commemorating getting rid of the demon. And I only know about it because I did so much research for this week's episode, but I literally can't sleep now. So this ill-proportioned man is Adam Livingston. In the 1700s, he was tormented by a poltergeist in his home after he buried a stranger in an unmarked grave on his property. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? Legend has it that one night in West Virginia, a traveling stranger came to Adam's place and told him that he was dying. He asked for a priest to be fetched for his last rites, but Adam wouldn't go get one. AKA, his wife was like, please don't leave me alone with this man. So the stranger did, but Adam didn't even know his name, so he just buried him in an unmarked grave in the back of his yard and got back to work. And that's when it just went full conjuring in his home. He came outside to see that his had been dead. Adam said at night it sounded like there was a horse upstairs, like that's how loud the stomping was. One night, Adam has a dream, and in the dream, he thinks he sees the man that can help him. And the haunting stopped after and got this man, who ended up being a Catholic priest like the stranger wanted. They blessed the grave, and if you visit, you can see where they marked his burial site. For more Appalachian horror, check out this week's episode.
I would have told that guy he needs to go die somewhere else. We don't do that around here. That's too weird of a request. Nobody asks if they can in your house. Okay, wait a minute. I knew it. Yeah, no thanks, bro. I've seen this movie. I know how it ends. If you haven't seen this movie, it's a horror movie. It's called The Menu. It's alright.
The more advanced the civilization became, the less they put the work into recording that. It was, for instance, there's not a single writing left behind from Atlantis. They didn't do cuneiform writing into stones. They probably had paper, and they probably had digital records. science.
Digital.
When I say that is that we've found some really weird artifacts in the Mediterranean over the last 100 years. There was an artifact found off of Greece that has mechanical components in it that don't make sense.
So this is the one Michio Kaku talked about. This was down at the bottom of the Mediterranean.
That's it. Thank you.
Around 1900 or so, there was a shipwreck off the coast of Greece, and divers found an instrument encrusted in coral. It looked like a piece of junk, but when they cleaned it, they realized, no, it's a machine that is 2,000 years old.
I watched that full episode. It's kind of clickbaity. The machine was, I think it was more of a mechanical machine. It wasn't like a computer like we have today. I think it was meant to track the stars or something. It's still a pretty eerie. I mean, we're pretty advanced and we use paper and also digital records. So, I mean, he might do something, maybe. Terrifying moment. Riders are forced to get off at Cedar Point roller coaster and walk down its 200-foot high staircase. Yeah, no, man. You'd have to carry me down. I'm sorry. Here's another guy. Not bad. Yep. Wow. That was pretty clean, man. You got very lucky. That was a clean 10 out of 10 landing.
Yuri Lipsky. He's from Moscow and he was on vacation in Egypt where he wanted to do a dive. The dive he was planning was at a location called the Blue Hole. Divers will drop into the Blue Hole and descend 181 feet. It is there where they find something called the Arch. It's an 85-foot long tunnel, and once you swim all the way through, you get to the Red Sea. The hole is very deep. You do pass the Arch. The Blue Hole drops around 400 feet down. Then there is a ledge, and you could slip off and you could go down thousands and thousands of feet. Now, to do this dive, you need to be a very experienced scuba diver. You also need a special mix of gas. Because everyone said that Yuri couldn't go in, he just decided to sneak in. So we strapped on a camera and jumped in. There is a video of this entire incident. I'm just going to show pictures here, but if you want to see the video, you can go find it. But yeah, the video is pretty sad, so that's why I decided I'm not going to play it. Everything starts off normal, and he kind of wanders away from the group, and then he eventually gets to this point where there is this little ledge. So he goes over the ledge, and in the video you notice that he is dropping at a very rapid rate as it continues and it almost seems as if he's not really aware of what's going on. It doesn't seem like he's making attempts to get really dark. Then he makes contact with the ground. It is here where you can hear him trying to activate his buoyancy compensator, something that you can inflate to help bring you back up to the surface, but unfortunately his had a leak. He also had a weight belt on and he had the wrong type of air in his tanks. His watch is beeping and he looks at his gauge and he is down 392 feet. He then tumbles over and he is on a slant, so he is sliding down this embankment. Remember, he is close to an edge that drops off thousands and thousands of feet. Yuri continued to struggle until everything would go still. At the depth that he was at, we can assume that he had nitrogen narcosis. And it wasn't until days later when his family noticed he didn't for him at the bottom of the Blue Hole running.
All these videos are gonna ruin swimming for me. I think we all pretty much have that fear. I don't even like thinking about it. That's so dark, man.
Never Tell Me the Odds, Part 30. In 2016, Glenda Blackwell bought a $10 scratch-off ticket to prove to her husband that they were a total waste of money. But she failed to prove her point since the ticket ended up being a $1 million jackpot winner. Sodium nitrate is the secret ingredient that will turn any cheese into a creamy nacho cheese sauce. By pure coincidence, sodium nitrate's chemical formula spells out the word nacho. A Bosnian man cheating on each other when they both started talking to another person. When they decided to meet in person, the couple realized they'd been cheating on each other with each other. While randomly watching Stuart Little with his daughter in 2009, a Hungarian art historian spotted a famous long-lost painting that was used as a prop. Sleeping lady with a black vase had been missing since 1928 until a Stuart Little set designer picked it up at an antique shop for $500. The historian contacted producers to alert them of its value, and the painting later sold at auction for more than $300K.
What is it with famous valuable paintings being bought at thrift stores? That's not the first time I've heard someone making a fortune because they found something valuable. I gotta start thrifting.
About a guy who used to work in the Navy in the 70s. They place an acoustic device all throughout the ocean floor in this certain area. This was to map the ocean floor, detect submarines, and find anomalies and stuff. One of the contacts, while in the Navy, responsible for monitoring the sensors, they would discuss underwater submersible objects that would travel at thousands of miles per hour underwater.
What are you talking about?
He said they also have detected various structures underwater that are active and that they stay clear of. So those might be like volcanoes or whatever, but they're detecting actual anomalies
This came out
underwater.
recently?
This is a report from a guy that worked in the Navy in the 1970s.
That was in the 70s?
It would be the perfect place to hide if you think about it. We don't really have that many submarines that can go that deep. I wonder why we just haven't perfected that.
Ah!哦，这实在是很无聊哎。那这样也行。
That squirrel's looking to get that settlement money, bro. You better lawyer up. Another swamp puppy getting yeeted into oblivion. That thing was like 50% head, bro.
Oh.
My boy climbed out that hole like it was nothing. That's crazy though. There was no chance in hell he was gonna stop. Those planks do not look like they're tied down by anything. Some zip ties or floss would have been. Alright, oh, come on, man. You're not even trying. What? That's hilarious, bro. I was gonna say this was me when I was working as a waiter. I was nowhere near this bad. one way to do it, I guess. This looks like a really insufficient and dumb way to land. I don't know exactly what they were doing.
Why was it so?
Yo, that looked painful. I wasn't gonna laugh. But the first comment here says police brutality. The hell, man. Alright guys, so bear with me here. This footage is not as cool as I remember it was. It's still pretty interesting. I'll play the video and then explain. So basically, my uncle, he travels across a lot of Mexico. He's probably been to every corner of Mexico. He just loves traveling. He has no kids, no wife, nothing. He lives in a big 2-story house by himself and basically dedicates his entire second floor to collecting artifacts and just souvenirs, specifically of the ancient kind, or stuff related to like Aztecs and stuff like that. So yeah, this is all stuff that he's basically collected over the years. I'll let you guys see these. Some of this stuff he personally found himself. He likes to do a lot of traveling, so he'll go to different areas in Mexico. He will buy some of these, found them themselves. Start with the ones he personally found, which I thought were the weirdest. So these 3 little alien looking things, these actually he found himself. He specifically said he was hiking somewhere and he said he found them in the monte, which just means a hill, like a hill. I don't remember exactly. He saw these weird shapes that looked like they were sticking out of the ground, and he found all 3 of these here, which in my opinion look like the ones that look most like aliens and not like us. So you see here, yeah, there, if you look at weird features, might be how they look like aliens. And then you have, pretty sure like this whole section here, he's probably purchased off of people that have found these. But most of this stuff is pretty legitimate. He's had people from a supposed museum approach him, and try to buy some of these off of him to put them on display. But he thinks a lot of times that they're not even really, they don't really work for museums or anything, because they'll try and lowball them. They'll offer them like $150, but like in pesos. And obviously, you know, he'd rather just have them sitting in his house on display. Like his whole second floor in his house is really crazy. I'll show you the rest. Yeah, you got these guys here. They're pretty creepy looking. These just look like basic, you know, Aztec figures that he's found, bowls and stuff. Now these 2 up here, these are really creepy. These are actually a story. So these 2 up here, this tall one with this tablet and the short one, he will never separate them, because he says that ever since he got these 2, if he keeps them separate, was it these 2? I think it was these 2. Yeah, it has to be these 2, because I think he says he keeps them right next to each other. It's either these 2 or another pair. But basically, he says that when he goes to sleep at night, he can hear some very faint crying. Very, like, ever so slightly, like it wakes him up. And he figured that it was 2 of his statues. I don't know if I believe him. I'm not really as superstitious as most people, but I just thought that was cool. This thing has like a face on it. He's holding like a tab face on it, like it's the evil book. That's really creepy. So yeah, basically that's pretty much the creepiest thing, I guess, that he's had happen to him from having these, is that he does not like separating, because he thinks they come to life or something. Now this one, this big creepy thing, he actually, I think, bought. And also this calendar, this isn't made of stone. I think it's like paper mache, like the same material piñatas are made of, but he likes having them on display with all the original stuff. He also makes a lot of things like headdresses and stuff, because he does a lot of stuff for a local parade where they do like a traditional Aztec dance and stuff. But yeah, he keeps a lot of these creepy figurines in his house. This one especially I thought was creepy. I went back up there when it was dark at night, and I swear some of these things feel like they're staring at you. Yeah, and then he's got like this also, I think it's an Aztec calendar, but he does have more of the figures up here. These are all original too. Here's some more up here. All this stuff is handmade, fake, handmade, fake. All this stuff is like all handmade. Only the statues are real. And this one, I forgot about this one. I forgot what the reasoning behind why I think he got scared of something. Something startled him, and he actually dropped this one. You can see the cracks here while he was cleaning them. And after that, he stopped cleaning them because he doesn't want to break them. He's old. He's like 60. This is the creepiest thing ever, dude. This is like a vase. It looks like a vase, but I don't know if you can tell. It's got a face on it. I don't know why they would make a face on this thing, but all these things are just super creepy. Yeah, here's more of the statues. There's my big self when I was like pounds heavier. As you can see, he's got all these weird wall decorations. And this specific thing, he has a story behind this too. So he bought this off some guy that had also found this, I think, in a cave system or something. And this used to be completely sealed. So as you can see, it's like a box. And then one day, some poachers or whatever you want to call them, people that basically like grave robbers for like gold, approached them pretending to be also with the museum. See, it's all cracked here, from a museum that they wanted to examine this thing and blah blah blah. It turns out the guy that originally owned this knew that there was something inside this, but he had never attempted to open it because it's obviously ancient. He doesn't want to break anything. So he thinks that at one point, or when he had it, there was maybe some type of gold jewelry or something, or some gold inside it. Because after these guys were done with it, they returned it and they said they dropped it and it was all broken. And obviously he knew that they broke this thing open and took whatever was inside of it out. The box was no longer useful to that guy, or he felt like he no longer had value, and my uncle purchased it off of him. And you can see that you know they put a bunch of glue and stuff to put it back together. But yeah, that's pretty much the tour of his mini museum that he keeps upstairs. I don't know how he sleeps that night. All this stuff would creep me out. Look at all this weird stuff. Yeah, he's kind of a weirdo. All this also handmade stuff. None of this is original. Here's his like little Aztec empire that he has. Like when I say he has a museum, like a mini museum, it's no joke. The videos do it no justice. It looks way crazier in real life. He's got a couple more. All the ones that basically have no color and they're dirty. These are all the ones that he's collected over the years. These are original. Everything else he it's handmade, stuff like that. Either he makes it or he buys it off of somebody. But yeah, that was pretty much it. There's not much else to tell. I'm not very good at telling stories. I'm good at reading stuff out. There you go. Well, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for hanging out with me again. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you're awesome, and I appreciate all you guys. And with that, I'll see you next video.